What's kicking, everybody? We are back with another episode of Pickin' Six, our NFL and college football pick'em show. I am once again joined by the fellas from last week. We got Connor and Mac, aka Follow My Locks. Mac, I'll start with you. How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I'm a big Bama fan, so wasn't a good Saturday night, but it ended up being a good Sunday, good week of betting. We got another good one coming up, so ready to go.
Great to hear that. Connor, how are you, buddy?
Went pretty well. Our video debut, or not debuted, but had it up on Men of Order blog. My teaser hit for last week, so excited about that and looking to follow that up again this week with some more good picks against the spread and another nice teaser for everybody.
Oh, I know. I'm also a member of Teaser Town. A huge fan of that. So with that being said, we got quite the NFL slate between the three of us for all of you lovely viewers out there. But let me just take a moment to tell everybody to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all the support. We want to get our picks out to everybody. So we always greatly appreciate all the support. And also, I think this video, we're going to start putting timestamps in chapters in the video so that if you were like wondering about our picks for a specific game, you can just go right to it. So we're going to start doing that. But with that being said, the first game we have on our docket is the Rams and the Giants. The Rams are -9.5 in that game. And I know what I think, but I want to go over to Connor for his thoughts.
Pains me as a Giants fan, but Rams are going to win big here. I mean, Daniel Jones banged up. Saquon's out for at least this week, maybe two. Not really sure of his timetable. That doesn't, or I don't actually know his particular status, but that doesn't bode well for the Giants. Rams defense going to get after Daniel Jones or whoever's in the pocket for a big blow. Not liking their potential to win this game. The Rams cover that 9.5 points.
Mac, you got anything, buddy?
I don't lean either direction. It's a big number. I don't like laying big numbers like that in the NFL. Just when it gets that high, it kind of scares me. I kind of like the over in this game. I think the Rams could easily put up, 30, 40 points by themselves on the Giants. Their defense is not good. I watched the game the past weekend, and they're all beat up. I don't know who knows if Daniel Jones will play. Who knows if Saquon will play. Kadarius Toney got ejected. Galladay's hurt. They have a lot of injuries. I don't really lean either way, but I would take the over in this game. I think 48.5.
Connor, I completely agree with you. And Mac, I always usually follow that rule of a touchdown or more spread to lay that many points. 9.5 is a large number. But in this situation, the Rams have covered a big number,
especially on the road.
Yeah, well, the Giants are 0-2 against the spread at home this season, and the Rams did cover -9 against Chicago, so they do have the ability to really lay on the offensive production. And the Giants' defense is in like the bottom half of the league in almost every statistic, as well as the Rams is the first in yards per play. So they'll get up and down the field on the Giants. I think they could really cover that 9.5. So I agree with Connor with that -9.5. Next we got, let's see where we want to go. We got Chargers and the Ravens. I know Connor specifically wanted to talk about this game, I believe. That the Chargers are getting -3. Did I have that right? Or is it the other way around? And the over-under is 51.5. What do you got, Connor?
Right now I'm seeing Baltimore -3. They're at home. I don't know who wins this game. I like the over at 52. I just think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. The Chargers put up like 47 against the Browns, who have a really, really good defense. And last week, also Baltimore put up a good amount of points. So I just like the offensive output in this one, just taking the over. I don't see the defenses doing too much to slow each opposing quarterback down. I like the shootout here.
Okay, Mac, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I like that too. I'll rock with Connor on the over in that one. I think Baltimore has shown on defense they're not very good. They have a bunch of big names, but they didn't look great against the Colts last week. The Chargers, have let up points to every team that they've played so far. It'll be a good game. I think this is one of the better games of Sunday. I'll take the over and I'll take Chargers +3.
All right. Like that. I definitely agree that will definitely be a shootout, high scoring affair. Next, we got the Cowboys from Dallas heading up to Foxborough, I believe. Dallas is -3.5 in that game. Mac, I'll go to you this time.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game too. There seems to be a lot of tough games this week. This game opened, the Patriots opened as a favorite in this game, and it's already been steamed to Dallas is -3.5 now. I would lean Dallas especially if this number gets a little bit lower, like 2.5, 3. I would probably just take the money line for Dallas. But the Patriots should keep it close. They're at home. They play great at home. You know what you're getting out of Belichick and his defense. Mac Jones hasn't looked good the past couple weeks, so I think Dallas's defense is legit. Their offense is legit. I'd take them to cover.
Connor, you got anything?
Before I go, Mac, what was that stat you pulled up or with favorites changing, like lines moving and favorites
Yeah.
changing last week?
So when there's a number that goes from one team being favored to the other team being favored, like in this scenario, New England opened as a 1.5 point favorite, and now Dallas is favored. I'm pretty sure it's like 60%. It's over 50% that the original team that was favored wins the game outright.
All right.
Yeah, I figured it was something along those lines. The last few weeks, I've been liking the Cowboys at home. They've covered the last 3 games, all of which were at home. They're on the road in Foxborough this week. Makes me a little bit skeptical of their ability to cover. I'm still leaning Cowboys just because their offense has been booming. Dak's been killing it. Definitely one of the leaders in the MVP race. Zeke's been balling. They got the wide receiver tandem, Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, who hasn't been putting up great numbers, but also the tight end core has been definitely productive to say the least. I think Cowboys win this game. I'm just gonna go line for Dallas. They're listed at 190 is what I'm seeing right now.
I was going to say, Connor, one example was last week. Actually, it was a game that I played. I had Steelers +2.5. They opened as a 1 point favorite, and then once Bridgewater became active, it flipped completely. It went to Denver like -2.5, and the Steelers won that game easily.
Yeah, for this game, this is one of my games I was definitely eyeing up. I do like Dallas and the points. Dallas is 2-0 as the away team against the spread this season. They also have covered. They're actually undefeated against the spread this season. They've covered everything they played this year. And the Pats right now, I know they typically Foxborough is gives them that extra boost. But right now they're sitting at 1-2 against the spread at home. So I am liking Dallas at the points. Kellen Moore, I think that McCarthy has, from what I've understood, is really letting Kellen Moore run this offense as OC. And I think Dak is really, really benefiting from that. Their defense, like Max said, looks really good. They are pressuring the opposing quarterback a lot. I feel like that'll be very difficult for Mac Jones to overcome. So I like Dallas and the points in that game. Next, we got a good one, potentially. Bills-Titans. Bills were -5.5, over-under set at 54 even. Connor, I'll go to you if you have anything.
Initial gut feeling leans Buffalo. I think that's what I'm going to be sticking with. Granted, Derrick Henry's probably going to ball out, have at least a touchdown, but he's the focal point of that Tennessee offense. And the only issue, like the reason I still lean Buffalo, that being said, is they allow 70, a little over 78 rushing yards a game to their opposition. And as long as they could keep Derrick Henry from reaching the end zone more than 2 times, I think they win this game easily and cover 5.5.
Mac, are you on this or no?
Yeah, I like that too. I think the Bills are really good. The Titans aren't very good. Clearly, they lost to the Jets. They won this past week. They got a couple guys. I think AJ Brown and Julio should be back. But the Bills should cover this number easily. You know what you're getting out of their offense. You know their defense is good. I wouldn't. I always love playing the first touchdown scorers in primetime games just to have a little bit more action. I wouldn't mind taking Derrick Henry first. It depends what the number is. If it's anything below like plus 500, I probably wouldn't play it. But I think Derrick Henry's first touchdown score would be a good play in this game. I think they try to establish the run early.
Yeah, that's a good play. I've never been a fan of those first touchdown scores, but I see that you love it. You tweet those out a lot. What are your free plays on Twitter? I know you're a huge fan of those. But just so you know, last week you two took the Chiefs. I took the Bills. I'm doing it again. I like the Bills.
Yeah.
Minus 5.5. They're 2 in a row. They're 2-0, excuse me, against the spread as the away team. And Connor said they're still, he said it last week, but they're still first in points in the league. And Titans are 24th. And, you know, I think points allowed.
The Chiefs defense is terrible. It's never good when you have Daniel Sorensen as your last line of defense. They just let people run wild on their every single game I've seen them play. It's like receiver just running wide open everywhere. It's kind of sad.
And what's crazy is like not even a year ago, 2 years ago, that Chiefs defense was one of the best in the league. I think, did they lose Houston and them? Is that what happened? Like they just lost, like they lost Justin.
Yeah, they lost some guys like Houston. I can't even really think of who else they lost though.
Yeah, but all of a sudden they're
it's pretty much the same team. It feels like.
Yeah, I gotta say, I feel the team didn't change that much, but it's crazy. Yeah, I definitely like Buffalo minus 5.5. I know that me and Mac were feeling this game. Cardinals, Browns, and it was weird when I saw this, but I'm seeing Cardinals +3 in this game. Mac, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game. This is another, tough game for Arizona. They're going on the road to Cleveland. It's not the easiest place to play. They have a super loyal fan base. It'll be full. It'll be loud. I think the Browns can win the game. I don't love the number at 3. I'm going to wait to see if it goes a little bit lower. It seems like there's a lot of money coming in on Arizona. This opened at 4.5 and it's already down to 3. So be interesting to see how this is kind of a wait and see game for me, just as far as the spread. I kind of like the under in this game too. Last week, the Cardinals their offense did not look good against the 49ers for whatever reason. They couldn't move the ball. They're only James Conner isn't a great running back. They kind of rely on Kyler Murray to just do his thing and run around and throw to DeAndre Hopkins every time. So I don't know in this game. I lean under is probably my best play. I would wait to see what the lines do.
Connor?
I'm leaning under as well. I mean, the Browns have so far, I'm just looking at their outcomes so far this season. Like Chiefs in week 1, bad defense. Browns put up 21 points, or no, not week 1, but Browns put up 29 points. Put up a bunch against the Texans. Okay. Vikings, they only put up 14, still got a win. Chargers, they put up 42 in a loss. I think playing a good Cardinals defense and the Browns defense still being good enough. They have Myles Garrett, good players. I think this leans towards the under. And Max said Arizona did not look good on offense last week. Baker has looked very shaky. I think their offense revolves around the running backs, Kareem Hunt and Chubb in particular, who I saw earlier today. Both of them were listed as questionable. I believe one of them was out earlier, but that I think has since changed. So with the questionable injury listings on their running backs, main core of their offense, doesn't make me confident that the Browns will put up a lot of points, so I'm going under here.
Yeah, I'm personally, I don't know. I really like that Cardinals +3. For last I looked, the public money was kind of favoring the Browns. I don't know where maybe the Sharps were going the other direction.
Yeah, you're right.
I
I
know
just
that to be true.
there's a lot of money on the Browns.
Yeah, the public percentage looks like it's coming in just only slightly towards the Browns. It's pretty even. Cardinals are 3-0 against the spread as the away team, and 2-0 as a dog. So, and I personally really like them here. Connor's right. I think the Browns are actually first in rushing stats overall
They have to.
this year. Yeah, I think they're first in rushing yards, if I'm correct, in the league this year. So if their run game is like not fully there, then they may have a difficult time winning this football game. So for me, I am locking in the Cardinals +3. Mac liked this one. I think you want to talk about Dolphins Jags. I believe Dolphins are -3 and the over-under is 47 even.
Yeah, so I'm a big Dolphins fan. I've watched pretty much every game that through and through, start to finish, every single game except for last week. Just couldn't finish watching the game. They're terrible. They shouldn't be a favorite against anybody. I don't think they're 3 points better than any team, including the Jags. It's a London game, so you got to wake up early for this one. But I think the Jags could win outright. It'll be interesting to see if Tua plays. He's been throwing the ball at practice this week, so kind of wait and see if he plays. But even if he does, I think there's a good chance that he just gets killed in the first quarter again. Our O-line is one of the worst in the league. He's not going to be protected, so he's going to come back with that rib injury and probably not going to be 100%. So I like the Jags +3 in this one.
Yeah, I don't personally have anything on this one. I know that's a very interesting game there, but Connor, you have anything on this?
I'm sitting this one out. I don't particularly like games that are played across the pond. Feel like funky things happen. I mean, the over with the Jets Falcons last week, or whoever the Jets played. I will not be touching this one personally.
Yeah, dude. There's listen, in gambling as well as in life, sometimes you just gotta, know when. What does Kenny Rogers say? Know when
You don't need to play every game.
No, Mac is all in. I hear you. Next we have Chiefs and the Washington football team. Chiefs are getting -6.5. I believe that's correct. Over under 55.5. That's pretty tall order. Mac, what do you got?
Yeah, I like the Redskins in this game. They're coming off a loss to the Saints. Again, the Chiefs are not good. I think they're still overvalued by the books just based on their talent. I don't think they're 7 points better than any team really. That what they've shown thus far, they don't look like they're the same as they used to be. The Redskins have a great defense. They'll definitely get pressure on Mahomes and make it tough. It'll be interesting to see if Heineke can move the ball like all these other teams have on the Chiefs defense. Terry McLaurin is a complete beast. I saw a stat the other day. He has the most targets over the last 3 years without a drop, and it's somewhere in the hundreds. It's insane. I like the Redskins or Washington football team +7.
Yeah, I wasn't really eyeing this game. When you brought it up, I was curious about what you were going to say. But the Chiefs are not a covering team this year at all, no matter the number. It looks like they just are not a team that likes to cover. So I initially was waiting to see what you had to say, but I am completely in agreement. I will personally also take the football team +6.5 there. Connor, are you on there with us, or are you sitting this one out as well?
I'm making this consensus pick for all the reasons you guys have. Chiefs, terrible defense, and Washington does have good talent on defense, but they're giving up 31 points per game. And with the Chiefs' talent, the Chiefs have talent on offense. I don't think they're necessarily going to have a tremendous game where they're going to put up 35, 40 points, but I think this game's going to be close enough where at least 56 points are scored. Going to be a close shootout in that one.
Yeah,
I like that too. I think it's the highest total of the day,
I
55
think
and a half.
you think you're
Yeah, it's the
right.
highest total on the board. I
Yeah,
like
that
that.
yeah that I'm seeing. It's like I think Bills Titans is the only close one at 54, but this one's 55 and a half, which is in my opinion that's pretty high for an NFL game. But I
Yeah.
think that they have a chance to go over. I'm not putting my money or taking that as a pick, but the over is, definitely a possibility. Next, we have the Bengals and the Lions. Bengals minus 3.5 after that interesting game against Green Bay last week. How many was there like 5 or something missed field goals
4 or 5, yeah.
in that game? And Mason Crosby's a good kicker. There's a reason he's been Green Bay's kicker for however many years. So that's just interesting to see. But yeah, it's minus 3.5 against the Lions, and the over under is 47.5. Mac, you can go ahead.
I like the Bengals in this game. The number's kind of weird. I feel like I feel like they're much more than 3 points better than the Lions. Maybe it's just because the Lions are at home and they're skewing the line a little bit. I think Bengals coming off that loss last week should win the game. I think Burrow will be good to go. I saw he had like a throat contusion or something from that hit that he
He like kicked
took,
him
which was
or something, right?
pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But I like the Bengals. It was bad. No, it was just like a windmill type tackle. Like he got his legs flipped and then he got
Oh,
his
that's
head
what it was.
slammed to the ground. It was bad.
Well, I just
But
saw.
that was a brutal game for me. I took the Bengals team total over 22 and a half. And they were stuck at 22 for like the entire fourth quarter. All they needed to do was make one of those field goals and I would have hit. And I
Yeah, well,
lost.
I took the Packers when they were still minus 3, so it was just push
So you
nothing.
pushed.
Yeah, absolutely. That made me so mad. Connor, are you? I'll join you. By the way, Mac, on that Bengals minus 3. I feel like if it was a bigger line, like if that number was a little bit larger, the Lions might be able to backdoor cover. But I'm definitely in there. Bengals minus 3.5 as long as Joe Burrow is in and healthy. Connor, what do you think?
I'm going to sit this one out. I think Bengals will win this game, but Detroit, they're 3-2 against the spread so far this season. Feel like just my gut feeling they're so unpredictable. You don't know what Goff's going to do and that the rest of their team's going to do. I don't know. This is one I'm leaving off the card.
All right.
It was a heartbreaking loss last week for the Lions too. They come down, go for the 2-point conversion, get in the lead, and then Kirk Cousins just goes down in 20 seconds and gets a field goal.
Yeah, but what I will say is if you are out there, I think it's only limited to the city of Detroit, but if you are a Detroit Lions fan, you should at least appreciate the coach that Dan Campbell is. I can tell that he very much cares about that team, and that honestly Jared Goff is giving that team his best shot, like to try to win them some games. They just had fallen very unlucky, like Justin Tucker kicking a 66-yard field goal. Like, it's unfortunate, but I don't think, I'm definitely going to stick Bengals there. Next, we have in division game, we got the Packers and the Bears. Packers are minus 4.5. That game is in Chicago with Justin Fields as the starter. Over under at 44.5. Matt, what you got?
Yeah, I like the Bears at home in this game. I think they have a much better defense than the Packers. Jair decent Raiders team and beat them handily. I like the Bears to cover in this one.
Connor, what do you think?
I got no thoughts. I'm sitting in this one as well.
Yeah, this one, I think this is definitely it's touchy for me because if the Packers don't there's always a chance that they might not completely show up and the Bears will sneak one. So like I can't put faith in the Chicago Bears right now just because I don't know what they for personally I don't have enough sample size to know what they are yet. But I just can't lean either way in that game, so I'm gonna sit that one out. And I believe as long as nobody else has anything, we can move it on over to our college football portion of the show. I only had one college game that I brought to the table, and that is Iowa and Purdue. That line is Iowa minus 11.5, over under at 43. And personally, I like the under here. Excuse me, Purdue has gone there. The under has hit in every Purdue game this season. Purdue is 5-0 for the under. Iowa is 4-2 for the under this year. Big Ten unders are pretty profitable, typically. So that was the only game, at least after Mac, not until Mac talks, that I am bringing to the table. I like the under in the Iowa Purdue game, and I will let.
Yeah, no, that was going to be my play too.
Yeah.
It's a low number. It's 43. Iowa's offense is not good. This Petrus guy just sucks. They somehow beat Penn State last weekend when their quarterback went out. They shouldn't have won that game, I don't think. Purdue isn't good either. Their offense struggles. I love the under in this game.
Yeah, I'm a huge when it comes. I mean, I don't take unders literally unless it's Big Ten football, because they set those like mid 40 numbers and somehow they always end up going under. Connor,
Yeah.
are you feeling anything here, or are you just letting us vibe right now?
I'm rocking with the under as well. I was 5-1 against the spread this season, and they're playing at home. Big home field advantage makes me want to take them to cover the spread. But given that it's going to be a low scoring affair, I don't like that 11.5 points. So I'm just taking the under here.
Yeah, that stadium.
I think Purdue could be a play in this game as well. It'll be interesting to see. It's kind of a wait and see line sort of game for me. It opened at 14.5 for Iowa. It's already down to minus 11.5 for them. Purdue's coming off a tough loss last week to Minnesota in a game that they probably should have won. Minnesota sucks. But Purdue looked good in the beginning of the year. I think I was a little bit overvalued just based on some of the teams that they've played, and the turnover thing that they're doing is not sustainable. They have multiple interceptions in every game that they've played so far. So it'd be interesting to see if they can keep that up, but I just don't think that's sustainable.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. That Iowa Stadium is something when it's packed out. Next we have on the slate, we got Florida and LSU, a lovely SEC game, one of my favorite. Florida is currently minus 11.5 in this game, and the over/under is set at 59.5. Mac, what do you got?
So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this. I don't really know. I think the number's too high. LSU actually opened as a favorite in this game, and it's already been steamed all the way up to 11 or 11.5, whatever it is now. I can't really tell if LSU's just given up on the season or what's going on with them. I don't think Florida's very good. Their offense kind of struggles. Their defense gives up a ton of passing yards. I think LSU will be able to throw the ball. I just think the number's way too high for an LSU team at home. It's a tough place to play. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like LSU plus 11.5. Florida, like as you said, isn't good. I don't like, especially not at home. Like going into Baton Rouge, tough environment. I think coach, they might have given up on the season, as you said, Mac, but I don't know. I think Coach O has something up his sleeve to at least keep this one remotely close.
I don't know. A team that loses by 21 points to the University of Kentucky, to me, is a team that's given up. If I were to go anything, this may be a little touchy, but I maybe take the under 59.5. Like for these for these teams, Florida is 1-5 for the over. LSU is 3-3. Um, that 60 points in a college football game is, I mean, I would say on average. I don't. I'm not going to officially make a statement on this game, but if I had to take anything, it'd be the under. I think there's Florida is up and down. They gave Alabama a run that one day. It's all going to come down to what Florida team decides to show up to Baton Rouge and Death Valley. Because if LSU is given up, it's the Gators' game to dictate. But if I had to go anywhere, I would say the under 59.5. That's just me personally, though.
What do you think about Kentucky against Georgia this weekend? You think Georgia beats them easily?
I think they win.
It's a high number too. It's 22.5.
Historically, we don't cover spreads. Like we don't like we are typically they whatever. UGA is very good at playing to their opponent's level. Historically, we'll play for Alabama and play the most phenomenal game we've played, in our entire life. Then we can go and almost lose to South Carolina. We've avoided. I'm waiting for one of those games that makes me unnecessarily nervous to happen. It hasn't happened yet. I thought it was going to happen with South Carolina. I thought it might. Auburn's always a question mark because they're on our schedule every year. That is a big number. I never bet on UGA to win any football games. If anything, I do the happiness hedge. I don't know if there's probably no other UGA fans watching, but if they are, I do the happiness hedge on occasion, where I did against when we played Clemson. You take the other team, so no matter what, you either have money or you have happiness. But I know that's terrible. That is a big.
I'm the same way with them. I never bet on them. I just typically just watch the games and
I just watch it play.
If they cover or just whatever, I'm okay with it. But I talked to probably 3 or 4 people that had Bama as the second or one of the last legs of their parlays, just money line against Texas A&M, and were devastated.
Yeah, they're Georgia. I think as you said, was it 21.5 now?
It's 22.5.
22. I say that I think we can cover that. Our defense.
I just don't think Kentucky will be able to run the ball. Their defense, Georgia's defense is too good.
Our defense is something I'm 23, and so I have never seen our defense look this good in my entire life. Maybe, when Jarvis Jones and them played defense for UGA. Other than that, they're looking incredible. I think it has a lot to do with Kirby Smart. Finally, he was Alabama's DC. He really got his guys now after Mark Richt has left. I think that they have a culture set and they're going to get it done. I definitely think they win. I think that's a easy thing to say, but that spread is very interesting. Yes, I don't know. I don't have anything for you. I just think that this season is something that I didn't expect.
Yeah, I don't have anything either. If I was to lean one way, it would probably be Georgia, just because I don't think Kentucky is real. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball. Their defense is good, but I think Georgia's proven that they can move the ball on anybody, especially if they're going to have the ball a ton with their defense just constantly getting 3 and out. So I'll definitely be watching the game. If I was to lean one way, it'd be Georgia. It'd be interesting to see if this line goes down anymore. If it goes to 21, I might take it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm sorry everybody for going on a long-winded. Mac mentioned Georgia. That's my team, so I'm really sorry for the rant. Connor, do you have anything on UGA before we move on?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's 22.5 is a large spread to cover. As I said last week, I mean, I picked Florida over Kentucky because Kentucky is a basketball school, not a football school. They're looking better, decent football team. Whether they'll live up to the number 11 ranking that they have this current week, I don't think they will. I think Georgia's just overall too good, way too much talent for Kentucky to handle. Maybe Kentucky covers 22.5. We'll see. I think Georgia still wins this very easily.
Yeah, I'll be waiting until Florida. Honestly, The SEC doesn't worry me. It's always Alabama. They have broken my heart more times than I like to say. But before I start crying about that, let's move on. Arkansas and Auburn. Arkansas is favored -4.5. It might have something to do with what Georgia did to Auburn last week. I don't know. Over under set at 54.5. Mac, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I like Auburn in this game. It's just kind of a wait and see for the lines for me, just to see if it comes down or goes up at all. I like the number at 4.5. I think Auburn plays well on the road. They can really run the ball. I don't know if you've watched any of the Georgia Auburn game, but they have two running backs that are really, really, really good. Bo Nix is kind of doing the pull rabbit out of a hat thing where he just runs around and makes stuff happen. So we'll see if he can do it against Arkansas. I think they probably have some confidence after last week, but I like Auburn +4.5 in this one.
Yeah, Connor, you got anything?
I like Auburn as well. I mean, Tyler, you mentioned Auburn coming off a tough loss last week, but Arkansas had a tougher loss, putting up a good old goose egg against Georgia 2 weeks ago. I think that sticks in my memory a little bit more. I like Auburn here, Arkansas offense, just on that game alone, sort of recency bias, but doesn't give me the utmost confidence in them to cover 4.5.
Yeah, I think we're gonna make us another unanimous Pickin six decision. I have always respected Bo Nix as a quarterback. I think that he is very talented. I agree. This year specifically, he's doing the old run around and there's somebody 50 yards downfield. Let me just go lace this on a frozen rope. I'm definitely with you guys on the Auburn +4.5. I think Arkansas is a fraud. Pig Stewie. No thank.
You think we ever see Bo Nix in the NFL?
Yes. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a fan of his game, man. But they don't really run a run pass option in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Because like you said, from what I've watched, Auburn really likes that RPO.
Yeah.
And so
He's super athletic. He's super talented, but I don't know. I don't know if he's an
Yeah.
NFL guy.
Yeah, I know that UGA's defense hadn't run him for his life, but I think that he's very good. I think that he would make a great second string QB in the NFL somewhere. I think that he definitely has the talent. Next we have we are the boys from New Jersey. I don't know if you ever seen the meme of the inarticulate Italian noises. If not, it's whatever. But we got Rutgers and Northwestern. Rutgers is -2, over under set at 45. Mac, what do you think?
I like Rutgers in this game. They're coming off a couple of tough losses. They played Ohio State, and then the next week they turned around and played Michigan State. Their offense is pretty good. I think, especially against a team like Northwestern, they'll be able to move the ball. Northwestern is not good. Their Rutgers defense is really, really good. They're actually first in all of college football in turnover. They have the most turnovers. They're in the top half of the league in pretty much every other stat besides sacks. So I like Rutgers money line in this game a lot.
I can get with that. I know that we were trying to call Michigan State on their fraud we tried to put them on fraud alert last week and Rutgers didn't get it done. I was with you there, but Connor, you got anything?
Nothing on this one, boys.
Yeah, I am leaning under. I'm not a big under guy, but some Big Ten unders, like, I don't know. Mag,
It
what
could
do
be a
you
good
think
play.
of the under?
It's a low total. It's 45. It opened at 47.5, and it's gone down to 45 already. I kind of like that play too. Rutgers defense is good, especially against these not so good teams. They're not going to hold Ohio State or Michigan State to less than 20 points, but I think they could easily do it with Northwestern. I don't know too much about Northwestern. I know they're not a good team and they've had some bad losses. The only game I really watched is when they played Michigan State and just got killed. So I'll rock with you on the under in that one.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Northwestern is they're not a high-scoring team. They're a bunch of
No.
journalists, as far as I know. That's one thing I know about Northwestern. Yeah, so definitely under 45. Mac wanted to talk about it. You know, the team who broke his heart this past Saturday, Texas A&M, who I thought were frauds. I'll say it right now. I thought that Texas A&M was highly overrated coming into this season, but they are now 9.5 points favorites over Purdue, probably one of the laughing stocks of the SEC. Over under is 60 points, and I will turn it over to our friend Mac.
Yeah, I like Texas A&M in this game. -9, -9.5, -10, whatever it turns out to be. Missouri is terrible. They let up 60-something points to Tennessee. Their defense is really bad. They have this Basilak guy that's been their quarterback that's been there for years. He's terrible. I think Texas A&M is going to have some confidence coming off of beating the best team in the country last week. So give me Texas A&M -9, -9.5, -10, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll ride with that. Mizzou sucks. They're in our side of the SEC, and they just pad everybody's win stats. Even like they had Drew Lock that one time, but other than that, they just are not a very good football team. I'll definitely ride A&M -9.5.
Even when they had him, they weren't great.
Yeah, barely, dude. Even with for a while NFL starter, they didn't do anything. So Connor, what do you think?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Texas A&M here. Missouri, they got smacked by Tennessee, who with I forget the name of their current quarterback, but
Hooker.
he stepped in and over his short window of playing time, he has like a top 5 in the country passer efficiency rating or something like that. And they have a very high tempo offense. Missouri gives up like 37 points a game on average. Texas A&M is just going to stomp them.
Yeah,
Playing
I've watched
simple.
a lot of Tennessee games this year. They're good. Like they play with a lot of pace on offense. They're pretty much no huddle the whole game, and they love to just go. They're going to put up a ton of points. They got some confidence. They put up like 50, 60 points in the last few games. So I like Tennessee this season. I think they end the season with I forget who they play this week, but I think they're a decent team.
Yeah, isn't it Ole Miss?
Yeah, while we're on that topic, Mac,
is.
Mac put it out there. I know that he likes to field a lot of these out to us, which I do appreciate. Mac did put out there Tennessee's -2.5 against Ole Miss. The over/under is 82.5, which if it wasn't Ole Miss wasn't playing, I would think would be preposterous. But with the amount of offense they do play and the amount of defense they don't play, it's not unreasonable. But I personally like Ole Miss +2.5. I think that their quarterback is very good. I don't know. Tennessee. I hate Tennessee, so I'm very biased in this game. Like I hate the color orange. Like I can't. I hate Tennessee so much where I might have almost a little bit too much bias in this game. So I'm gonna let you two take it, and I'll hear what you have to say.
Yeah, Connor mentioned this quarterback that Tennessee has. I think it's Hendon Hooker is his name. He used to be on Virginia
that's
Tech.
him.
Yeah, they were starting Joe Milton in the beginning of the year, and he was just literally there's 100 memes of him just over every single pass he throws, he overthrows by at least 10 yards. It's pretty crazy.
I saw a video where it was like, or picture, it was like
ever since they put Hooker in, they seem to have found their stride.
Yeah, dude.
What were you saying?
It was terrible. They were like, oh, if a receiver runs 40 yards, Joe Milton can hit him 40 yards, but if the receiver runs 20 yards, he'll still throw it 40 yards. It's terrible.
He's really bad. I think it was at Michigan originally too, so it's like they have these two transfers, but they really seem to have found their stride on offense. I'd lean over in this game. I don't want to put as official play just because it's so high. Whenever a number gets in the 80s like that, it's kind of like a stay away for me. It's a tough pick. You never expect two teams to put up 40, 50 points apiece. So that's what Vegas is saying is, hey, one of these teams is probably going to put up around 50 points. So I love Tennessee in this game. I think they win outright at home. Ole Miss should not have won last week against Arkansas. It was a pretty crazy game. Arkansas went for the 2-point conversion at the end and couldn't get it done. But I really like Tennessee in this game. I think they win outright.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you there with Tennessee. This over is the highest over I think ever in SEC football history. At 82 points. I think it's still feasible. Ole Miss put up 52 last week against Arkansas, who prior to their goose egg against Georgia, I think they were giving up an average of like 16 points a game, like statistically one of the better defenses in points allowed in Division I football. I'm pretty sure. Clearly not that good on defense. But like Ole Miss Ole Miss and Tennessee. Ole Miss like shorter air raid offense. It's gonna be a high scoring affair. I like Tennessee. Gonna wait on that over, see if it comes down a little bit.
Me on this, but I think if you're leaning towards the over in this game, this is for everybody. I think the best play would probably be to take the Tennessee team total. They've hit their team total maybe the past 2 or 3 weeks in the first half. I think just based on the line, Vegas is basically telling you, hey, one of these teams is going to score 40 points, and if I was to pick one, it would definitely be Tennessee. Looks like it's at 40.5 right now for Tennessee, or I'm also saying 40. So if you're going to play the over, I would recommend just taking the Tennessee team total. I don't really want any part of the Ole Miss offense. Tennessee's defense is pretty good.
Yeah, I can't take my hate from Tennessee out of this. So I'm just gonna stay away from it entirely. I hate them so much it's not even funny.
I did too.
Dude, yeah, them in Florida just drive me insane. Last one we want to talk about is Boston College, who is just a parlay killer, a wild card type of team. Boston College is -3 against North Carolina State, and the over under is 52.5.
Yeah, so I like Boston College in this game. I think they get it done at home. I don't think NC State's a great team. They beat Clemson, but that's Clemson is not good this year. I think Boston College wins this game at home. I like their defense. I like their coach. They run the ball a lot. I would lean under in this game as well. It's at 52 right now. But my official play is Boston College to win the game. I like them +3.
Connor, what do you think, buddy?
I'm leaning Boston College as well. Pretty much just got riding with Mac here. No other input as far as backing that pick. Although once we get done, I do have two games I want to bring up real quick before we end this thing.
Yeah, Boston College is 2-0 at home. I'm just looking at a couple stats right now. They're 2-0 at home. They're 2-0 as an underdog. They're 4-1 against the spread so far this season. So they've been a covering team. I love them at home in this game.
Yeah, I'll make another unanimous pick and six decision. I'll take Boston College there. That is the last that I had written down for our slate before we talk about some college football futures. So Connor, you have the floor to talk about those games you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, just real quick. I was looking at this as we're beginning the college football segment of the show, but I like San Diego State on the road at San Jose State. San Diego State is 4-1 against the spread, 5-0 overall. San Jose State is a 1-5 against the spread, so I'll be taking San Diego State -9. Big spread, but they've been holding teams to under 17 points a game this season, scoring almost 36. I think they get this one done easily. Cincinnati, similar situation, except they're at home against UCF, who some people think won the national championship a few years ago, but they do not have that good of a team. They're 1-4 against the spread, whereas Cincinnati 4-1 at home. -21 is still a little bit big. I just wanted to bring this up because if it comes down maybe to 19.5, I'll be hammering that. but Cincinnati has pretty good defense, giving up 12 points a game so far this season. I'm liking Cincinnati, maybe a little teaser action if that could work on the book, but
Yeah, San Diego State has a pretty good team. They beat Utah. San Jose State. Tyler, you remember Nick Starkel?
For who?
He used to Nick Starkel. I think he used to be on Mississippi. He used to be on some SEC team, but he transferred to San Jose and he got injured a couple weeks ago. So they've kind of been downhill since they lost him.
Yeah.
I like San Diego State, like Connor mentioned.
Yeah, as far as I think Cincinnati is a great book. Like they gave us a run. They gave UGA a run in that bowl game last year to end the season. I think that Cincinnati is a very good football team against the teams that they play throughout the year. I will agree though that I feel like that line needs to come down just a little bit for me to want to take it or put some teaser action. I have nothing I'm not gonna put anything on the other game. But with all that being said, the last thing to talk about is we have some college football futures that Mac wanted to discuss. I'm completely a fan of that. So let's first talk national championship. As far as I'm seeing per FanDuel, UGA has the best odds at plus 125. Alabama's right behind them at plus 250. Those are the lone top dogs as far as odds go, and then coming in behind them, Ohio State plus 750, and then Oklahoma plus 2,000, and then it just goes on from there. What do you guys think? I listen. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win the national championship till if we even make it there, the game is over and done with. So I'm not putting that out in the world as a possibility. So I will let you two talk, and I might chime in. So Mac, you can go ahead and kick us off.
I don't know. I think there's probably some value on Ohio State. I think Bama losing really shakes up the table. I think Ohio State, if they win out, they have a few tough games coming up here at the end of October. They play Michigan State, they play Michigan, so they could easily sneak their way back into the top four, by the end of this month. I think I like Ohio State, and then obviously I'm a big Bama fan, so I think they have a chance of beating Georgia when it gets to the SEC championship. We always play Georgia well, no matter who's on the team. If it's Jalen Hurts at quarterback, if it's Tua at quarterback, if Georgia has the better team, it always just seems to be close. So I think Bama has a good chance, even if they don't beat Georgia, of sneaking in the top four. It'll be interesting to see if Cincinnati holds on. I don't necessarily think they have a chance, but I can't see what the odds are right now. But I think my play would be Ohio State.
Yeah, Connor, what are your thoughts?
yeah, I'm not one to go with futures on any college sports, whether it be basketball or football. I think things are very unpredictable. Uh, I mean, I kind of like what Mac was saying about Ohio State. I think Georgia right now is the favorite. Alabama's not looked as good as they did last year and years prior, and the other teams, Iowa, their offense is just not good enough to win national championship against these SEC powerhouses. Oklahoma, they could make a run. I don't know if they're necessarily legit because they might be benching Rattler, but who knows? Yeah, I don't really have any futures at this current point in time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I always put money on Georgia to win the national championship before every season starts. That's unrelated. But what Mac painfully said is I completely agree with. Alabama always, I think that those games between UGA and Alabama are some of the best that college football has to offer, especially in recent years. Even though it's broken my heart time after time after time. I remember 2012. I remember 4 yards short in 2012. I remember Dante Smith going deep in 2018. It all hurts just the same. So if there's odds on teams just simply make the playoffs, I don't mind as long as Iowa wins the Big Ten championship. If they keep doing this and they could beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten championship, it's a possibility. It's Ohio State in a down year by their standards. I think that Iowa can maybe get that 4th spot, but I think that at the college football playoff committee is
plus 240 on
for
DraftKings
Iowa to make it.
For Iowa to make the playoffs, they're plus 240.
I wish they had a little bit more juice there, honestly. Yeah, I think that like the college football.
I think they have to put Cincinnati in too if they win out.
Yeah, they win
especially with the win for sure. With the win against Notre Dame, that's a good enough win on their resume to get it in, especially if they go undefeated again. Be their second year in a row going undefeated, so I don't see how you don't put Cincinnati in.
Yeah, for some reason I could easily see it being Georgia, Bama, Iowa, Cincinnati, like in no particular order. Like, because I think that even though I am an SEC football fan, that the college football playoff committee is 100% biased towards the SEC. So I think that barring nothing crazy happening to UGA, if we go to Atlanta and play Bama, which I think will happen, no matter the outcome of that game.
I think Oklahoma gets in as well.
You think
Oklahoma is
if Georgia
a lock
loses or Bama loses?
I think either way. I don't think Georgia will lose. They might lose in the SEC championship to Alabama, but even if they do, they're in either way. I think if Oklahoma finishes the season undefeated, there's no way they're going to be kept out. I like this new quarterback that they have, Caleb Williams. He's kind of like everything that you thought the Oklahoma offense would be with Spencer Rattler. He came in and just completely changed the dynamic of that offense last week against Texas. So I think they easily get in.
Yeah,
they're minus 150 to make the playoff right now.
Wow. Yeah, it should be interesting. It's so hard to tell. Like it's always a matter of like who. Okay, it's like some people call it the Alabama Invitational at this point. Like who the 3 teams that gets a shot to play Bama. So I guess we'll see what happens. And then as far as Heisman Trophy futures, I know we're going pretty far on time. I apologize to the folks. Once again, we'll have this book, timestamps. You can jump around to whatever you might like to see. Right now, this is based on FanDuel's odds. Matt Corral, the quarterback at Ole Miss, and Bryce Young are both plus 200 to win the Heisman. If start of the season, I would have put money on Bryce Young, and I'll probably still make that my stance, unless what you said, the quarterback at Oklahoma could be like the first quarter player to not start the season and still win it. I think that's very interesting and also a possibility. I don't know. CJ Stroud.
That'd be an interesting story. I don't think they have lines on that yet. I don't think they.
Spencer Rattler is still plus 8,000. Is it Caleb something? Yeah, no.
That's Caleb Williams. I don't think they've come out with lines for him.
No, he's not even.
My play, and it's going to be small. I've been saying it all year. If you guys have watched the show, you've heard me say it before. Bijan Robinson is by far the best running back in the country. They don't typically give Heisman to running backs unless they have some crazy season, which he's definitely having. There's a dude, Kenneth Walker, who is on Michigan State, and he's a little bit ahead of him. I think he's leading the college football in rushing so far. But Texas has a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way. I think if Bijan Robinson can keep doing what he's doing, 150, a couple 200-yard games, I think he, especially with all these quarterbacks that are losing now, I don't see why Bryce Young and Matt Corral are still the favorites. I don't think Matt Corral gets it. There's no way that Ole Miss is going to get into the playoff or get even close. They're still going to probably lose a couple games. So, you have to take that in consideration too, just who you think the better team is going to be. I like Bijan Robinson. He's plus 1,800 right now. I think Desmond Ridder could be another good play too. Like I said, if Cincinnati goes undefeated, I don't think there's any way that they don't get into the playoff. He's having a great season. He's one of the better quarterbacks. So I think Desmond Ridder and Bijan Robinson are my 2 plays for Heisman.
Yeah, I also think that CJ Stroud is still very overvalued in this. He's plus 700. I think that's ridiculous. I do not think that he is the same as the same caliber as the previous quarterbacks of Ohio State. Like they're at an upper echelon of quarterbacks that have gone to that college, that university, excuse me. And CJ Stroud, personally, at least as of right now, maybe he'll improve, but he's not there with them. You know, oh, Connor, do you have anything?
I really just don't see it being either of these guys that are the current favorites. Like Bryce Young and Matt Corral being the favorites doesn't really make much sense to me, and then everybody else being such high numbers, behind them. CJ Stroud is the next one at plus 900, and there's a few of these guys at plus 15, plus 1800 that I think have a real chance.
Yeah, I mean, listen, anything can happen. It's college football, and that's why we love it so much. Connor, do you have any? You see, you're not a big futures guy, so if you have any thoughts, let us hear them. Or if not, we can wrap it all up.
I mean, Desmond Ritter with Cincinnati, I'm seeing him at plus 2,000 currently. If Cincinnati is undefeated, makes the playoff, I think that, like, currently, I think that's decent value to at least sprinkle on right now. But that's ultimately dependent on if they continue their success and go undefeated and make the playoff. If they don't, if they take a loss before even conference tournament play, no shot he wins.
Yeah, no, they can't lose, but if they win every game, I think he's definitely going to be top 3. I think he has a good chance to win in for sure.
Yeah, I think that he definitely is going to be at the Heisman ceremony. I think he definitely gets invited out as one of the, finalists. But with all that being said, Mac, do you have anything in closing here?
No, nothing closing. Good show. Hope you guys have good luck this weekend. It's not the best weekend of college football. It's kind of a break based on the past few weeks that we've had of some really, really great games. I think this is one of those weekends where you don't think too much of it, but we could see some upsets this weekend. Who knows? So yeah, good.
Yeah, Connor, you got anything?
No closing words. Let's get the money this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, we want to give a big shout out to Men of Order blog. They are hosting our NFL picks. We write blogs over on their site. They're, very nice guys. They, their site is for, geared towards men, and it's for anything money, technology, sports, anything like that. So definitely go check them out. Check our picks out on their website. I know they do a college football, like their crew does a college football Pickem on their own right. But other than that, I just wanted to thank everybody who supported us so far. We're working hard over here trying to get this content out for you guys. So we really appreciate if you would like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. I believe it's at _Pickin Winners. I believe the Instagram is the same. Make sure to follow Mac at Follow My Locks. All of our Twitter handles will be right underneath us. But with all that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe weekend of gambling. Gamble responsibly as always. And I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you so much.